Hello! This is part 3 of the series giving tips to new players in Final Fantasy. In the last video, we covered dungeon basics and enmity. This time we'll talk about jobs and cross-class abilities. Before we start though, I'd like to mention one thing that separates this game from the others. In other MMOs, you choose your class before you choose your role. In Warcraft, by choosing a paladin, you could be a healer, a DPS, or a tank. In Final Fantasy, there's also a paladin, but it is strictly a tanking job. To make up for this, a character can level all jobs to 60 and choose one that fits their playstyle and role. So if you wanted to be a heavy-handed sword user like the Dark Knight, and you want to deal as much damage as possible, you may be disappointed. That said, let's get into part 3, getting a job. To gain access to a job in Final Fantasy, you first have to level the primary class to level 30 and the secondary class to level 15. I am trying to unlock Paladin, and while I have the primary class Gladiator at level 30, I'm still missing the secondary class Conjurer at level 15. Once I have both though, I can go to my class guild and pick up the quest that leads into the job quest line, unlocking both the job and the abilities they can use. To switch to your job, you'll have to equip the appropriate soul crystal and weapon. This will reset the position of all your abilities as the game considers you have started a new class altogether, but leveling your job will also level the primary class. To be a Paladin will require Gladiator and Conjurer, Warrior requires Marauder and Gladiator, Monk requires Pugilist and Lancer, Dragoon is Lancer and Marauder, Bard is Archer and Pugilist, White Mage is Conjurer and Arcanist, Black Mage is Thaumaturge and Archer, Summoner is Arcanist and Thaumaturge, Scholar is Arcanist and Conjurer, Ninja is Rogue and Pugilist, and the final 3 classes, Dark Knight, Astrologist, and Machinist, only require you have access to Heavensward content and start at level 30. There's obviously some crossovers such as White Mage and Scholar requiring the same, albeit differently leveled classes. This is one of the perks of this system in that you can earn multiple jobs by leveling your favorite classes. You should also know that any class you level that is lower than your highest level class will gain a large XP bonus. From 1 to 50 it's 100% more experience, and from 50 to 60 it's 50%. Your job earns all of its abilities from quests offered every 5 levels by your job trainer. This continues to level 50, then changes once you've entered Heavensward content, gaining abilities every 2 levels from your new job trainer. You'll gain gear at the end of these quests, which allow you to look the part, and even gain access to your Relic Weapon questline, which gives you a weapon designed to fit the lore and style of your job, while also having appealing visual effects. One thing you should be aware of if you haven't already noticed is that when you are in a dungeon or fate that is below your level, you can sync your level to decrease it to something more suitable. Decreasing your level, however, also limits the abilities you can use. Knowing this, don't be surprised at first after unlocking your job that you cannot use your abilities as you are not high enough level in those groups. That said, let's move on to cross-class abilities. Every base class has access to a large pool of cross-class abilities. Jobs have access as well, but it is much more restricted. Keep in mind that you will have to level the class you want to share abilities with high enough so that that class can use the abilities themselves. But you can use higher level abilities from other classes on your current class regardless of level. You can use this to gain access to high-level abilities in low-level dungeons. Just remember to place the spells in the order you want to use them, as the number of additional slots decreases as you level sync down. You gain access to a total of 5 abilities by level 60 and can select them from your ability window and selecting the additional option and the class. Picking and choosing which ones to use is important, and generally you'll want to stick to spells and abilities that amplify your overall performance in that class. What that means is, as a tank such as Warrior, you will want to take abilities that increase your survival and reduce damage taken, while as a monk you'll want abilities that boost your damage. Every job has different cross-class options, so look at all of them and make yourself the best at what you do. So that's all for this video. I hope you found it useful. If you haven't seen the previous video, you can click here to go to it now, or you can click here to start from the beginning. In the next video, we'll be talking about crafting. Feel free to share this video with friends and family, and subscribe for more Final Fantasy videos in the future. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments section below, and as always, thanks for watching.